Shalom, giving all praises to, excuse me, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem, Al Shai Bashem, Rakakodah, Shalom to the 144,000 and rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. Anyway, this is going to kind of be I'm going to give it two titles. The first title is GMS Doomsday Cult, or GMS Doomsday Cult, a video that was put up by, it was actually a live, I believe, by the infamous, what's this guy's name? San Miguel TV. He did a whole 2 hours really dedicated to getting on me, and we're going to go into it. But I was going to the video, but I came across this video. So then the title I gave you, that's the main title. This would be like a subtitle, which I'm going to go into first. So this is a video, Edomite questions. Now, he could be an Edomite. He may be an Edomite, maybe not. You got to let the people know. He appears to be an Edomite, but he could be a Jake, right? Edomite, or what appears to be an Edomite, questions. He might say, no, I'm so-called, small. There's Israelites are scattered all over the place. So there's people out there that might say and agree that their whole line goes back to, you don't know. So you got to let them know. You got to let them know. Do we have any hope? The only hope you have is that you're not an Edomite, although you look like one. And a lot of Israelite groups don't teach that, which they're taking away from the scriptures. Because you're going to have elect members looking like Edomites and Moabites and everybody else under the sun. So it says Edomite questions Hebrew Israelites about the Bible. So we're right here at the almost 2-minute mark of a 22 minute video. So I'm just gonna let it play. Oh, the title is, this is the secondary title. Like I said, I'm gonna go into this first, then I'm gonna go into my main title. Here it is, 2025, 6 days into 2025, damn near 2025. It's 2025 basically. Less than a week it'll be 2025. And you got Israelite groups teaching that there's a hell. I'm gonna condense the title down a little bit. If any Israelite group out there, Hebrew Israelite group, I'm mainly talking about the One Westers, which are the premier group, the groups out there that split up into so many. We overrun all these Yah Israelites, these other Israelites. They got to take a back seat. The foremost camp is the One West, which broke up into many different camps. Anyway, you got some of these camps, wacky camps, that are teaching that there's an actual hell, that you burn in hell. IUIC is one of them. They waxing worse and worse. I mean, goddamn. I used to be able to listen to maybe Nate teach, take him about 2-3 hours to go off. Now he opened up going off. First of all, he'll say Most High Christ bless. Hey, the Most High is getting later, as Apostle Gabar would say, what is it, the Wapo Zappo, whatever it is, on these guys, because they are done. They're done. Them and the GOCC. We don't even consider them Israelites. They're just gone. But IUIC is not that far away. Them guys are a bunch of used car salesmen from hell. All right? So let's just listen. Let
me tell you something about heaven and hell, though, right? So we don't subscribe to what most people think of, like heaven and hell being like the afterlife, right? When people die, hey, God decides, hey, you either stay in heaven or you go to hell, right? We don't subscribe to that, right? Because
you're half right. You're half right. Heaven, when we say heaven, there is a heaven. There's a spiritual realm. If you're an Israelite, you die. Edomite, Hamite, Moabite, Ammonite, Ishmaelite, Japhetic, one of the sons of Japhet. When you die, you go into that spiritual realm, and then there's a body prepared for you, and your mother and your father has sex, and when that union, the sperm, you know that whole thing. Your mother has her body is designed a certain way. A man is designed a certain way. When they come together, they have a seed. The seed is the sperm, right? We're dealing with the ovaries, the vagina, the egg. As soon as that sperm is initiated, that there's a spark there. You know, scientists they took pictures. They said as soon as that, happens, because they have test tube babies. They'll put it in a woman's womb, and they'll see like a light, and that's that spirit. That's a spirit that comes. So that's a living spirit. As soon as y'all have sex and you ejaculate in her, that light hits it. That's a spirit. So the baby's growing like a seed. A seed, you put a seed in. 2 days later, you got roots. So the plant is already there. It's already in growth. So you can stop it or you can keep it going, right? But in the meanwhile, you're in the spiritual realm. You're not getting whipped. You're not on fire. You're just in the spiritual realm. You're an angel. Even Edomites are angels. When I say that, don't jump on me. They're spirits. They're spirits. They don't get whipped and beat and burnt or tortured. They just in the spiritual realm, and then they come back into the body. Now, like Jacob, recently to Jacob, it was Jacob Rothschild, and there was another Rothschild that died in the fire. Well, they're not burning in hell. They're in the spiritual realm, and they now know that when they come back, they're coming back as Edomites. They're going to be called Edomites, and you're going to go into captivity, and you're never going to come back into power, and you're going to be on the bottom. And the ones that you look down on, you came against, that you put into slavery, when I'm talking about Esau in general, all you people are going into slavery. That's what you Edomites, that's why you Edomites roll up on the different camps, because you're looking for a way out. The only way out is that you're an Edomite that just happens to look like an Israelite that happens to look like an Edomite. So he said this, we don't believe in it. We don't subscribe to the concept of heaven and hell. Well, there's a heaven. There is a heaven. Unless they don't believe Paul. They don't believe, there's certain things they don't believe in Paul. Maybe they don't believe that either. I don't know. But they're confused. Genesis is confused on certain things anyway. They got a lot of things right. But now the hell part, there's no lake of fire. In other words, the lake of fire is Babylon on fire after the missiles hit it and the lasers hit it, and the elect is delivered out of here. Hopefully I'm one of the elect. So, but the spiritual hell, when you die, your spirit goes into hell. No, don't listen to this blockhead Nate talking about that. The worm is your spirit. Where did he get that from? What is that, from the book of Nate? Anyway, yeah, watch how fast and hard the IUIC goes down. Anyway, but I pray that if there's elect, that they come out of there. I pray that there's elect among them. Prince of Power, there's no hope for you. Just kill yourself, nigga. No, I'm joking. Anyway, let me bring this back.
And it goes back up through purgatory into the kingdom of God,
Right.
and what the cleansing of your sins and just what it looks like.
Gotcha, yeah.
You should give it a read.
And he's telling us about God. See, this is what the mace. What do you call that? What do you call it? Not the mercenaries. What do you call that? It's similar to mercenaries. missionaries, I think you call it. And you got the missionaries, which tell you the love of God, and then what comes behind that is the mercenaries, which are the military. That's how this devil works. You love, God loves you, and we love everybody, and I love you, my brother. And then here comes the weapons, and they kill your ass. That's how this devil rolls. See, history is on our side. We got, when you say we didn't do that, we got the track. We got the track record.
God,
Right.
and what the cleansing of your sins and just what the whole afterlife looks like.
Gotcha, yeah.
You should
So devil, you've been there. These guys are Edomite.
give it a read. It's hard to read, but it's really interesting.
Let me tell you something about heaven and hell, though, right?
First of all, I say you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You don't know nothing about the Bible, so you should shut the hell up.
So we don't subscribe to what most people think of like heaven and hell being like like the afterlife, right? When people die, God decides, hey, you either stay in heaven or you go to hell, right?
Okay, well, I'm going to go into a couple of precepts here. All right, let's go to the first one. Samuel and Saul, they both went to the spiritual realm. So you Christians saying, well, Saul died because he committed suicide. Where's that in the scripture? If you commit suicide, you're going to burn in hell. Did the rich man and Lazarus, did the rich man commit suicide? Okay, let's go to 2 Corinthians 12. Okay, Paul's vision. It is not expedient for me, doubtless, to glory. I will come to visions and revelations of Yahweh. Now the word there is kairos, which goes back to the word Yahweh. The word that should be there is Yahweh. Sometimes when it refers to the Messiah, you have the word kairos, which means superior, right? It says, I knew a man in the Messiah above 14 years ago. This is Paul talking about himself. Whether in the body, I cannot tell, or whether out of the body, I cannot tell. What he went through, his spirit left his body, because when they stoned him, he actually died. His heart stopped beating, the whole nine. He was pronounced dead. He was dead. His spirit separated from his body, and he went into the spiritual realm, what they call outer body experience, also known as astral projection, which I experienced astral projection many times, not by my own doings. My spirit would leave my body, and I would fly around, and I was a ghost, and then the spirit would come back into my body. I remember a couple of times I would get up. I think I'm getting up, but I'm not getting up, and I'm turning on the light, and I touch the light switch, and nothing happens. Then I try to turn on the TV, whatever, and nothing happens, because that's my spirit. The spirits are different from you have the celestial world and you have the physical world, right? I remember going out of my window and just flying around. And then I would come fly back in the spiritual realm, because I would be connected to a spiritual tether, and it would bring my soul back. So that's what death is. That's death. When you die, you're really free. It says, the Most High knoweth, such a man caught up to the third heaven. You know what I'm gonna do? Well, how you know it's talking about? How you know it's talking about? He can be talking about another man. All right, let's do this. Let me do this. Let's just see what they say. Let's see what the scholars say. The so-called Christian scholars have to say. Okay. Let's just see what they got to say. Because they sometimes they hit or miss. Come on now. Bear with me for a minute. Okay. All right. I want to see if I can find usually the shortest. Okay, came. But they say schools and colleges. I knew a man that is that this is the apostle is proved by 12. The word new should blah 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 be rendered in the Messiah above 14 years, and yet as what is this? Christ, Sotum, and Calvin remark, he that, going back to the church father, they didn't know the scriptures, all right? None of them clowns knew the scriptures, understood the scriptures. He had kept silence about it all the time. The scriptures, the secret rapture of the soul should be matters between it and the Most High. Subject, blah, 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 blah. All right, 2 Corinthians 12 and 6 is what a man is, whether out of the body. The apostle here, by implication, acknowledges the possibility of consciousness and receptivity, the T, in a disbodied state. Yeah, disbodied state where your spirit leaves your body. I cannot tell the fact of the vision was certain enough. He saw clearly what the Most High gave him permission to see, but whether the soul was repped, whatever that is, from his body, left without life, or whether body and soul were caught up. No, body and soul were not caught up in the heaven. Was the spirit up? Now it could have been body and the soul, like Enoch and Elijah together to the third heaven, but flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of heaven. Third heaven and to paradise was known only to the Most High. Some commentators have explained this passage by the Jewish tradition. Heaven, but if St. Paul had this in his mind, he here meant the clouds, a notion come. See, just trying to find a point here. Opportunities of knowing the apostles' meaning. He says distinctly that this is verbal about diarrhea. Third heaven is regarded by St. Paul as a place preeminently exalted, which is the spiritual realm, and he rejects the idea of the seven heavens as taught by Valentinian heretics. Okay, there's a thing. Okay, Valentinian heretics. You can go into that. That's a whole nother subject. The seven heavens, which is all crap. Anyway, so they're pretty in a roundabout way. They're saying that that was his experience. Let's come on back. Caught up in the third heaven. And I knew such a man within the body, and cannot tell, the Most High knoweth, how that he was caught up into paradise and heard unspeakable things. He couldn't put in words how great this place was, which it is not lawful for a man to utter. I couldn't put in the word. That's what he meant by it. If somebody describe what you saw, it's beyond description. I can't even begin to describe it. It was just utter beauty. It was paradise. Of such an one will I glory, yet of myself I will not glory, but in mine infirmities. For though I would desire to glory, I shall not be a fool, for I will say the truth, but now I forbear, lest any man should think of me above that which he seeth me to be, or that he heareth of me. The thorn in the flesh, we don't know if that's a physical thorn, a spiritual thorn. I got thorns in my flesh. You know, Apostle Gabar, the apostles, the bishops, some of them have thorns in the flesh. Some of you elders have thorns in the flesh. So we'll know in the kingdom if we don't believe it's an actual thorn. It was something that slowed. Matter of fact, let me go on into that. Thorn in the flesh, revelation given. Okay. Unless I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of revelations. Yahushua was giving him a lot of information. That's why Peter said what he said. There was given to me a thorn in the flesh. It does say flesh. So he had some type of ailment, whatever. The messenger of Satan to buffet me, slap me around. Buffet means to slap around. Lest I should be exalted above measure. For this thing I sought the Lord thrice. I asked the Most High to heal me of this, and he didn't. That it might depart from me. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Beautiful. My strength is made perfect in weakness. The Most High didn't want these guys with big muscles, because you would have had, Ronnie Coleman and Lee Haney and all these different guys, Flex Wheeler, Kai Green, these muscular, you would see them. The Most High ain't dealing with them. He ain't dealing with the physical guy. We're weak. We're small guys. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of the Most High may rest upon me. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities. I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in necessities, in persecutions, in distress, for the Messiah's sake. For when I am weak, then am I strong. I am become a fool in glory. That's for you, what's this guy? San Miguel. We have become a fool. Paul said he's a fool of the Messiah. So you're gonna see what San Miguel got to say. And he's messed up. He's conflicted in his brain. He's a struggle Israelite. Okay, let me do this. Let me come back. Where am I? Where the hell is it? I'm sorry. Damn, where is it? Okay, here, I think this is it. Yeah, this is it.
We don't subscribe to that, right? Because you know what that sounds like? That sounds a lot like Greek mythology. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the heaven part is correct. There's a spirit. Isaiah 57 tell you that. Isaiah 57 and 1, or 1 and 2. Samuel telling Saul that when he brought his spirit up, where was he? He was in the spiritual realm. He was in the spiritual realm.
Where we know about Hades and Zeus and all that stuff, right? So that's what that is really going into, right? That's
the Roman Catholic concept, which the Catholics got it from. Before the Catholics, the Greeks, it was Greek mythology.
That's what really people subscribe to. the concept of heaven and hell. In the Bible, heaven and hell is more like a condition, right? Right?
Yeah, but heaven is a spiritual realm. I just read that. I just gave you a couple of precepts. I quoted a couple of precepts, and I read 2 Corinthians chapter 12. You got a lot of these groups out here that don't have the 100% truth.
Like for an example, this is the white man's heaven right now, right? This is the white man's heaven, right? But this is
So Hakar and Hassad, you got to correct that, man, or do a video proving that there ain't no heaven, there ain't no spiritual hell, spiritual heaven. There is. Samuel was in that spiritual heaven, in the spirit world. Samuel told Saul, tomorrow, this day, you, and it was him and his son, will be with me, meaning that you're going to be in the same spiritual place that I am. So Saul didn't go to hell, because first of all, there's no such thing as hell anyway. And based upon what Samuel said, you're gonna join him in the spiritual realm. So that means you meet spirits in the spiritual realm. Got some of these guys that, you just go to sleep for 1,000 years. Some blockheads say that. No, you meet people. Samuel told him, he said, tomorrow at this time you will be with me. Meaning, I'm in the spiritual world. There's Samuel. There's Abraham. There's this guy. There's that guy. I believe Samuel came back as he was Abraham in another life. That's just my personal spiritual opinion. All right? Anyway, I just wanted to cover that. Now what I want to do is, let's look for the infamous San Miguel. Is Miguel TV. San Miguel TV. I'm sorry. Let me do this. Either it's. Give me a second here. All right, where is it? I hope he didn't take it down. Let me go to the lives. This is not what I want. We speak. What the hell just happened? Do it this way. San Miguel TV. Let's try it again. San Miguel TV.
Johnny Dickens, Crystal's brother, tells me it's painful.
Okay, so this is the Doomsday Cult, which we are a Doomsday Cult. The Doomsday, dealing with the end of the world. And he gets on us about, see, you guys been teaching about that MOTB. You've been teaching about that MOTB and it ain't come. It haven't come, so why you keep teaching it? Because it's going to come, all right? He didn't do it to the end. GMS, the Doomsday Cult. Now, what I want to do is, I want to take the word doomsday. Okay, doomsday. Let me put this over here. Doomsday, meaning. Doomsday, meaning. Doomsday clock. Doomsday clock. A symbolic clock adopted by atomic scientists to show how close human beings are considered to be to a global catastrophe, meaning the destruction. So we're crazy because we're talking about doomsday or the end of the world, but you have a what is it called? A doomsday clock. Matter of fact, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me do this. See if it takes me to. Okay, it's set to 90 seconds, but they reset it every January. Guarantee you, they're not going to pull it back. They'll probably have it. They should have it about 10 seconds in, but they change it every. I'm looking for where it says that. The clock has been reset 25 times, right, since 1947. That was after World War II. In January 2023, the clock was set to 90 seconds before midnight. The closest it has ever been to doomsday. Well, if they're honest with themselves, they would have to put the clock up to, I would say, 10 seconds. And that's supposed to be every January, like the beginning of the new year. Well, they didn't do nothing for 2024. So let's see what's going to happen. Anyway, let's come on back. Yes, we are the Doomsday Cult. And this is what we're famous for. This is what we're famous for. These guys are famous for the doomsday, end of the world stuff, when the Messiah's coming back. Something's wrong with you guys. Well, there's top Christians that all speak about, Edomite scholars that speak about the end. And also you guys with that wacky mark of the beast type thing. You going off on that. But I'm glad you said that, because that's what we're famous for. We're famous for two things: prophecies and the MOTB, which is part of prophecy. Okay, let me see. They're not giving me the meaning. Let me do this. Doomsday. Doomsday meaning. Oh, that's news. All right, let me do this. Doomsday. The last day of the world's existence. Beb believed that the time of doomsday is concealed from mankind. In Christian belief, the day of the last judgment, a time or event of crisis or great danger. Merriam-Webster, doomsday definition and meaning: a day of final judgment. Right, you have the word Yahweh Shaphat, which is a Jehoshaphat, which is Yahweh Shaphat, which is Yahweh's judgment. A time of catastrophic destruction and death. Examples of doomsday in a sentence: a warning that doomsday is near. Global doomsday. Global catastrophic risk. A hypothetical event, because they're saying, what if this happens? What if the Russians shoot missiles on us? What if there's a major earthquake and this, that, and the third? What if we get hit by meteorites? Explored in science and fiction. Hey, the scientists, a lot of the scientists, they're saying, well, this might be the end, of this system as we know it. A Tiwataki. Look up Tiwataki. And I'm gonna go into that too, where human civilization or life is at risk of partial or complete destruction. And that's what's getting ready to happen to these people. See, we have endured to the end, unlike you, right? Let's go to Tiwataki. Let me see if I can. Tiwataki. Okay, I didn't want this guy. Let me do it this way. the end of the world as we know it. Teotaki. I'm sorry, Teotaki. 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 Teotwaki. A catastrophic event that destroys the existing institutions and norms of society. Teotaki is an acronym, which you got it right here. The end of the world as we know it. There was a song called "The End of the World as We Know It." So the scientists, let me do this. Let me do this. Because this guy says we're crazy, we're bugged out because we're talking about doomsday. We're a doomsday cult. And this wacky, false prophecy about everybody going to get, the whole world going to get a chip. What did I say? I was going to go, scientists and the end of the world. A scientist and the end of the world scenario typically refers to a narrative where a scientist, often with advanced knowledge of physics, astronomy, or climate science, discovers evidence of a catastrophic event that could potentially lead to the end of human civilization. So the scientists are crazy too. We're part of the same club, right? And must race against time to find a solution or warn humanity about the impending danger. So these elite, they know that there's going to be a potential nuclear war. We're living in a nuclear age. Then it goes back to the doomsday clock reveals how close we are to total what? To total destruction. The end of the world has already begun. What the UW scientist says. These are scientists, man. You guys, you GMS guys, you guys are bugged out. Well, guess what? So are the scientists. When you see a scientist, tell him he's bugged out too. Predicting the end of the world, naked science. This documentary takes a look at all the significantly possible ways in which our planet could meet its end, from black holes, what is this, antimatter, whatever. But black holes can swallow this whole, according to science. A black hole is swallow the whole earth. And then you're gonna wind up in the bizarro world. Check this out. NASA confirms the date of the end of the world. I guess they're a bunch of bug outs too. Everybody that works at NASA, they're a bunch of bug outs too. October 25th, 2024. Okay. Fact check. Did NASA confirm the end of the... Did NASA confirm the end of the world date? The end of the world as has already begun, UW scientists say, or UW News. Let me go to news. This is as of a couple of months ago. Scientists share terrifying study into how the world will end. So all scientists are bug outs. You got to call them bug outs too, San Miguel. A mirror vision of life could pose a threat to life on Earth. Scientists say, bugged out scientists say, they just bug outs. Some scientists are bug outs. You afraid of the end of the world. Here we go again. CNN, the Doomsday Clock reveals how close we are to total annihilation. Okay, so now let's go to the video. All right, wait a minute. Okay, so there I go. This is 2 weeks ago. So it says GMS the Doomsday Cult. We take that as a compliment. All right. You got it. That's what we're known for. So in his eyes, in his mind, all these guys go speak about the end of the world, the nuclear destruction, Babylon being destroyed, and the microchip. That's all they seem to go into. Well, we take that as a compliment, man. So you're making us famous. Infamous, famous, the same thing. We're infamous, but we're going to be famous. All right? This guy's crazy. This is 2 weeks ago. Got the umbrella. Hey, hey, that's spiritual, man. I'm God. That's a divine umbrella. You know? And black and white, that's duality. What you know about that? So let's listen. And this is a long one. I may do a part 2 to this. Let's see where the spirit takes me.
My pipes. What's poppin', y'all? San Miguel TV, live in full effect. I'm gonna give it a little minute for people to come through. It's a nice, cool 40-something degrees out here in Central Florida.
Oh, he's a Met fan. He's from Queen. He's originally from Queen that relocated to Florida. He's a Queens Dominican. Smoking a bone. He's smoking a bone.
40-something. I know New York City, y'all feeling it. My people's out there in New York City. I'ma just give it some time. Let people come in as we get ready. You know, but it's live. I'm gonna be talking about GMS. Make sure y'all like the video and all of that. Share this joint to people that you think might be interested. You know, Tahar's gonna respond to this because Tahar's already responded to a video that I did a few days ago about the ICGJC. That cat be on my coattail and shit. So I know he's gonna do another response because
you mentioned me first. That's why I responded. Okay. You all fucked up in the head. You all fucked up in the head, man. You know what you are? You're a struggle Israelite. You in your spirit, your soul of soul, your heart of heart. You know you're Israelite, but you're in denial.
he must feel defeated in some way. Tahar, you feel defeated from some of these past videos I've done about you. Y'all were the first ones to ever do a video about me when I was on Vocab Malone's channel. I was never even talking about y'all or nothing like that until y'all started doing videos about me. Then I started doing videos about y'all. And I have already exposed a lot of things about GMS. I'm trying to think what was the one thing. Oh yeah, it was with what's his name? Rap the News. Remember? I don't know if y'all remember Rap the News. A lot of people don't know who he was. Like, people in the One West community, the Hebrew Israelite community of One West, they don't even really know who Rap the News was. He's a dude that was a false prophet, just like Tahar is, and all.
I'm a false prophet. I don't know. You don't believe in God, so how can you believe in the concept of a prophet? To say I'm a false prophet, that means that you know some real prophets, but you're an atheist.
All these other cats, Ariyah, Tazadakia, Tazariah, Yahana, yeah, they're all in the same boat. I know, Tahar, you like to separate yourself from all these cats.
Right. Separate yourself means that's where you get the word holy. Honor the Sabbath and keep it holy. When you look up the word holy, the word is kodash. One of the definitions of the word kodash or holy is to be separate. Separate.
But you're really no different. GMS is the group that Sahar started. It is a doomsday cult.
I love it. I love it. Yes, we are a doomsday cult. Let's deal with the word, like I read with the word doomsday. Scientists believe in doomsday. I proved that. Okay, prove all things. And cult just means worship. Worship. We worship the Most High. They make the term cult a negative, negative term that they label somebody. The stigmata. The word cult just means Baptists are. That's a cult. That's a cult. That's a form of worship. Roman Catholics, another form of worship, so they would be a cult. People that go to the military and they make careers out of the military because they love the military. Then they make the military a cult. If you're part of a group, you're part of a cult. If you're part of a bowling team, that's you about that bowling team. That means you have a certain worship for bowling, right? So that's a cult too. I'm just using these examples.
It's an identity cult because they focus so much on your identity as an Israelite.
That's what the scripture is talking about. One precept that come to mind. There's a lot of precepts, but one scripture that come to mind. The Lord said, "Go to the Israelites, but the Gentiles don't go to them." That's identity right there. He said, "Go to this group of people. Don't go to other groups of people." This is for your group, not everybody.
You know, that's like the main thing. They love all that talking about black this and black that. They talk about scriptures that have nothing to do with skin color. And
there's all kinds of scriptures that have to do with skin color. You go to the Revelation 1:13-15, Edomites just say, well, that white represents the color. So that means the Lord had leprosy. He came down. When you turn white, Numbers 12 and 10, when you turn, Miriam became white as snow, meaning if she turned white, what color was she? She wasn't white. So when the Lord came down, he came down looking white. That means he came down in his glorified body with a skin disease, which is a what is it? What do you call that? Is a term, medical term. What do you call that? It's where your immune system fights against it. Autoimmune disease. When you have leprosy, that's an autoimmune disease. That's your immune system attacking itself, and it attacks your pigment. But the Most High can zap you with it. Boom! I'm taking pigment like quick. That's autoimmune disease.
Turn it into skin color like Jeremiah 12 and 9. You know, all types of scriptures, man. Yo, GMS, exactly. Rap the News, he passed away. Yeah, all right, so what's crazy about the whole Rap the News thing is that when I started talking about him, that dude passed away like a week later, not even a week later. It was crazy. So I was like, yo, this is crazy because I was following.
By the way, Rap the News came to the camp one time, and he's standing in the audience, and he stuck out like a sore thumb. I said, I'm looking, he kind of sticking out. Huh? So who the fuck is this guy? So I looked at him. I said, "Who are you?" You know, I started talking. He didn't want to say nothing. I said, "Who are you, brother?" Then eventually he said he was Rap the News. So he could have came down and said, "By the way, I'm Rap the News." He had to come to the audience, listen, and for us to kind of, who the hell is that guy? So he was really a fan. He's a fanboy.
The story about the two young teenage sisters that passed away from starvation, from a Hebrew Israelite father that pretty much had him thinking that they had to do all this crazy fasting because Jesus Christ is coming soon, which is another doomsday thing. This cat, Rap the News, was another doomsday cult leader, just like Tahar. Now, they didn't get along with each other because GMS, they don't get along with nobody. They're ready to fight Hebrew Israelites left and right. You can watch videos of them on 34th Street. Pretty much almost getting into a fight with cats from ISUPK, I think it was. I don't even know what group they was. I think they are part of the ISUPK. And they over there bumping bellies and stuff. Two fat, big bloated belly fucking Israelites.
By the way, I'm right now I'm about 180 to 185 pounds. My high school weight, which I was a jock, very athletic, in shape. I was about 165 pounds. So I'm 20 pounds, to my high school weight. My high school weight, okay? Now, I used to walk 45 minutes to an hour, 2 to 3 miles, hit the weights and all that. I kind of took a break, but I'll get back into it because I'm feeling them spirits getting back into me, and I'll lose the first week. I'll lose 5 pounds off the bat, and I'll come back to about. I'll be happy with 180 pounds. So I don't know what you're talking about, fat bellies. I don't have a 6-pack. I used to have an 8-pack, by the way. Did you ever have an 8-pack? I don't think so. And if we went to the boxing gym, I would beat the shit out you. But I ain't that type of guy. I'll beat the hell out you with a smile.
With crazy ass armbands and crazy ass dudes, man. Listen, Tahar, he's done he took part of a video I did when I was talking about the ICGJC. You know, I tend to speak about the entire Hebrew Israelite community of One West mainly. And I mentioned Tahar, in passing. I mentioned him literally, it wasn't even for that long. And he goes and does a whole hour video on, the fact that I mentioned him. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched enough to know what he's talking about. I'm going to go back and watch the whole thing because I'm going to actually do a video, an edited video to respond to all of this. All right, let me take this hat off because it's just for looks right now. It's really not that cold. But yeah, it was good. A-Sharp was good,
like
Mega.
Wile E. Coyote with that hat.
I was going to go live and talk about the Israel Hill thing. I'm going to do that another time. I've spoken about that here and there. I don't know if I should do an edited video. I can do a short on it. It doesn't even take that long. It's very simple. The word Israelites in that Israel Hill marker is in quotation marks. It's not literally talking about black people in America are Israelites. Black people in Israel Hill in Virginia were Israelites. They never admitted that. That's all the quotation marks, which means, like how these Hebrew Israelites like to say, so-called. That's what that means. So-called. So, yeah, whatever. We could do that another time. I don't know. I just wanted to talk about that Israel Hill thing because there's a lot of Hebrew Israelites that are still using that as some type of proof that the black man in America is the Israelite man, it's a Judite. And that's not.
The funny thing is, you used to believe in that. You were part of the IS, so you believe that. Now you don't believe it. First you believe it, now you don't believe it.
Nothing close to what it's saying on that marker in Virginia. Excuse me, I don't know how late I'm gonna go. I'm a little tired. I've been working like 14 days straight or longer. I got no days off this month. But
just happy smoking that bone.
And then I started late, it's 10 o'clock. So I might go up until 11:30, the latest. I don't know. It might not even go that long, but in part of the video that Tahar focuses on, where I'm talking about him on my last live, I mentioned the fact that Tahar is talking about the RFID chip, and he's been talking about it for years. Tahar was in the
He's been talking about it for years. We are famous or infamous for really going into two things: Doomsday, the end of the world, and the RFID chip, or the MOTB, the mark of the beast, which is the microchip. Okay, which is coming. It's coming. Well, when is it going to come? When the Most High has a date where it's going to officially be, and it may happen. If the Most High is going to come and deliver us inside of the next 4 years, and this Trump remains president, he's not impeached, convicted of being impeached or whatever, or convicted of impeachment, or however you say it. if he remains that president for 4 years, and the Mossad, let's say the Mossad comes back in the beginning of January, February, I'm just throwing dates out there, 2026 or whatever. Let's say that next year. Well, guess what? Before that, before the missiles hit, before doomsday comes, the whole planet. When I say the whole planet, I'm talking about 95+% of the people will have to get chipped. We're obviously not planning on getting no goddamn chip. Okay, and the elect will not take the chip. Some of us will die. So when it comes, these other Israelite groups that are not teaching that, they're going to get caught out there. They're not going to know what to do.
ISUPK following Ariyah and Masha and all them cats. And then when they split and the House of David was formed under Masha, under the auspice of him being King David, the reincarnation of King David, Ariyah put that out there and then went back on that. And I think Masha ends up dying like a year later after that House of David was even started, like maybe a year, not too long after. The split, I believe, was 94. Masha died like in 95, you know?
Nope, I was there. The split took place in 96. He died in April, I believe it was April, spring of 99. So he died 3 years. And there was a reason behind that. You had the council, which consisted of Bishop Nate and Asher was one of them. He's not, he knows he's an Israelite, but he doesn't go out on the highways and the byways, so you wouldn't know him. If I mention his name, Rahab, these guys were like that council. I was a part of the council. I didn't want to be a part of the council. I said, I'm leaving. I'm resigning from the council. And they said, why? I said, because you guys are, this is a wicked ass council. And they were pissed off, man. I looked at them. I said, I don't want to be a part of this wicked ass council. And that's when they had plans to come against us and eventually kick us out of school. Because I came out straight. I said, this is a wicked. I said, you make what I say? I said, you make the council at One West, seem like angels, man. And they couldn't even, explain yourself. Explain yourself. Explain yourself. And I want to explain myself, and they can't, you explain yourself. They didn't know what to do. I'm surprised it didn't explode. But I told them, I said, I don't want to be a part of this wicked ass council, man. You guys are a bunch of demons. They hated me for that. But let me come back. Oh, I stopped it because the split was in 96, and the Mo died in 3 years later, in spring of 1999. In which the great Bishop Nate come down to the camp on 34th Street, and I was happy to see him. Then he's gonna say, how's Masha, not King Masha. And the split was because you were disrespecting King David. So we're going to set up King. Why did they call it King David? Because they said he was King David. Which, when they told to me, I said, so yeah, King David. Okay, good. So what else is new? But anyway, he comes down to the camp because he was in the hospital. And he said, how's Masha doing? I said, why don't you go up there and find out for your goddamn self? Which kind of cut him, you know? Because you were the guys that split because of the sake of King David, man. And you treated David like shit. They didn't even want to give this guy money. I had to, say, look, man, give this man some money. And they had a problem with that. But what happened was he got sick a couple of times with pneumonia because he was driving around in a car with no heater core in the wintertime. And he was up in age. He was in the 60s. And these guys were sitting on anywhere from $30,000 to $35,000, and they were jet setting like they do now. They would go to Atlanta, they would go to this place, they would go to that place, and they would stay in the nice hotels. And they didn't think to say whether, and they had to have known that Marshall was driving around in the car with no heater core in the winter. And as a kid, when I had car, you ain't got the money to pay for it. I had cars with no heater cores in it and I had to bundle up. But I mean, I was young, so they were partially part of killing him. You know, they set up the atmosphere for him to eventually die. And I didn't know it at the time because they kind of had him cut off. You can't come to talk to King David. We, you know, this, that, and the third. So they knew he was driving around with a car with no heater core in the wintertime. Now somebody got on me. See, Tahar, you let Marshall drive around. I said, and I came back when we first got on YouTube, I believe. And I said, I didn't know about it. Had I known about it, I said, me and my cousin, when they got together, we would have got a heater core from the junkie. But these guys were sitting on anywhere from $30,000 to $35,000, and they had him driving around. That's Nate is the last guy. So you were part of his fucking death, man. You contributed to his death. He got sick. He couldn't get, you know, past that sickness, man. Fucking wicked, man. Fucking wicked dudes. And then Nate, you had the dream that King Marshall told you to pass out rice and put pork juice in it, and then you woke up from the dream and said, he ain't King David. And I told Marshall, I said, look, they're gonna wind up kicking you out. So this guy's like I said, Nate is nothing but Han from Enter the Dragon. Han got all the technique from the Shaolin Temple. He tried to set up his own thing. Shaolin Temple said, we're going to send Lee, and we're going to kill him. And the Illuminati was a part of that. You know, Mr. Braithwaite, he represented the Illuminati, but they didn't say Illuminati. So they said, well, there's a hatred. Let's use this guy to take this guy out. Anyway.
My timeline might be off. Tahar, you can, you know.
I just did, buddy.
Give more accurate timeline since you were there. Tahar doesn't like to talk about a lot of this stuff in detail. You know, like how the hell he reconciles his false year 2000 prophecy when there's videos of him.
It was part of, it was part of the doctrine. Like Cornelius, we said that Cornelius was an Edomite. Okay, we did the research. Cornelius is an Israelite. The year 2000 thing was part of the doctrine. You know, you just taught it. The year 2000 was part of the doctrine. That's it. It wasn't nobody come to me in a dream and said the Most High, the angel, no. It was a doctrine. Just like Cornelius was a doctrine, you know? Just like if you look white, you was a white man. We finding out, if you're from Africa, if you're born in Nigeria, you was straight up Hamite. The 7 was off on that. Or you a Hamite. And there was one guy that came up, and he looked like, what's this guy, Wesley Snipes. Looked like Wesley Snipes. Talking just like a Jake, moving like a Jake. And I said, where you originally from? He said, I'm from Africa. I believe he said Nigeria. I said, you're not African. No, I'm from Africa. I was born in Nigeria, you know, this, that, and the third. I said, nah, you're not. I said, you're one of us. And he was one of us, but that proved that there was Israelites that were still living in Africa, you know? Nigeria, and you know what I mean, Nigeria, those surrounding areas.
I'm saying America has less than 282 days or whatever.
Yeah, that video, by the way, that famous video, we were the ones that put it up on YouTube. Say, we got this secret video. We were the ones that put that video up on YouTube, okay? We were the ones that you got the video because we put it up.
There's a video of him saying that, you know?
Yeah, we put it up. We put it up.
In 1999, in New York City, you know, so-called prophesying, you know, and that obviously didn't come to pass. And he has his own way of, he doesn't even address that when I speak about that in the video that he's pretty much talking about. You know, he's narrating and whatever, doing his little video on my video and what I said about him. And he doesn't even touch on what the hell he ever, you know, said about the false year 2000 prophecy.
Because you never brought, you went into the MOTB that we said that Obama's going to push the MOTB. I don't even remember making that. I remember making a video, but I remember everything that I said. But we did, there was the affordable health care, which is still, if you go to the hospital, you can't afford it. Affordable health care, which they call, it was called affordable health care, which they call Obamacare. And I think it's over 1,000 pages of information. And the back page, it went into the implantable device. It didn't say chip, because something that is implant, you can get what do you call it, a synthetic heart. You can get an, which is implanted in you. So we said that. We said, now, could that be it? That might be it. It could happen now, because we're looking for the prophecies. What did John the Baptist say? Elijah, what did he say when his cousin didn't come and deliver him from prison? He said, "Is this the one, or should we look for another?" Did that make him a false prophet? Because he doubted that. He said, "This is the Messiah." Then he said, "Well, wait, I don't know. This might not be the Messiah." Even the 12, the apostles, which was 11 at that time, in Luke 24, if I'm not mistaken, the Lord comes and changes his face, where where they don't know that it's him, and he's asking, "Why are you guys so sad?" And he said, "This guy said he was a Messiah, and he died, and now we got to look for the Messiah." Then he cursed him out. He said, "Didn't I tell you about the prophecy?" Then he rang off all the prophecies on him, that this would happen, that would happen. So they doubted. So did Peter doubt? Yeah. Did the apostles doubt? Yeah. Did John the Baptist doubt? Yeah. Because they were imperfect men, just like we are,
But okay, his member knows, but we can't know or whatever. Because it's bullshit. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to speak about that. Yashar, Tahar, you spoke about Jesus Christ coming back in the year 2000.
Never said Jesus Christ. We don't see you say Jesus Christ. We say Yahushua.
And we all know he didn't. Y'all was still carrying that from the ISUPK, even though you left the ISUPK.
Yeah, because it was part of the doctrine. We were also. Well, that was the Cornelius thing. We was in between that. So there was a lot of things that were changed up that we went back and looked at.
Okay, and split and further split the Israelites, which are all into a bunch of different groups now. Like, how are you, you talking about stumbling blocks. You are the stumbling block. Mashad's a stumbling block. Ariad's a stumbling block. You are the stumbling blocks that are.
And I agree with you. We are stumbling blocks. We're stumbling blocks to the unbelievers. We are stumbling blocks to you. You can't get to the truth because we're there. So yes, we are stumbling blocks.
Are out here, pretty much, just scattering the nation, your so-called nation of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which is another thing I'm going to touch on. How the hell are you teaching that Mexicans and Haitians are the same people, man? Because of the scriptures and the prophecies and the history. That's what they're going to say. No, it's not.
But you believe that. You're a Simeonite. You believe, I'm an Israelite too. Yeah, I'm on the sign. Yeah, Simeon, the Dominican. I'm a Dominican. I eat plantains too. I eat plantain on my doulos too.
That's your interpretation of scriptures leads you to believe something about genetics, man. Something about somebody's ancestry. Your interpretation of a scripture is how you get into somebody's ancestry, Tahar. You're gonna have your hands full dealing with everything I'm gonna talk about in this live, and then the video I'm gonna do about the RFID chip and the Obamacare thing. How that?
Please do it. Do the RF. The RFID chip is here. Mostly in Sweden, but it's going to go around the whole planet Earth, okay? Everybody that's not written in the book of life, the Lamb's book of life, will receive, that's on this earth, that's living, will receive a microchip. There might be people out there that live in remote islands. In other words, in order for you to be on the grid, you're going to have to take that chip. The world grid.
Was never even passed. That thing wasn't passed in 2009. That part of the Obamacare bill where it talks about the RFID chip and it never spoke about it.
It's going to come back up. It's going to come back up. See, what you got to understand is history. The UN, I'm asking you, my dear boy, I'm asking you, what was the UN before it was the UN? It was called the League of Nations. Let me do this. Let me go to the Google. What's the relationship between the UN and the League of Nations? Let's see what they say. United Nations tries to promote peace in a world full of wars. Oh, that's a good one. Right. The UN is nothing but how can I say? It's damn, what am I looking at? You know, it's an ornament. It's a nice idea. You know, bring peace to the world. So it says how the United Nations tries to promote peace in a world full of wars. That's Ecclesiastes 3. They can't stop wars because we're in the time of wars. Read Ecclesiastes. There's a song called what's the name of the song? A time to for every season turn. I forget the exact title of the song. The rock and roll group, and they were singing. They were taking the Psalm, not the Psalms, Ecclesiastes 3, and they made it into a song. Okay, let me see. Okay. See, when Esau pushes something and it doesn't go past, they rewrap it and they give it to you in another way. And then usually people get it because people are not too smart. It said the League, which means the League of Nations, is dead. Long live the United Nations. The League of Nations, United Nations, same thing. The world didn't accept it. They wrapped it up, and this was after World War I. After World War II, they gift wrapped it, and they said, we got a new thing called Unite, which was nothing but the League of Nations under a different name, right? The United Nations fails to protect against war, human rights violations. Okay, does the UN risk becoming a second League of Nations? It is a second League of Nations. Like I said, the League of Nations, let me go to this. I'm sorry, League of Nations is dead. United Nations fails to protect. Let me open this up. The League of Nations is dead. Long live the United Nations. Okay, on April 19th, and that's his demonic. Apostle Gabar goes into that. He's the expert on it. So there's a reason why they, this date pops up. The League of Nations dissolved, ending 26 years of existence. An organization which had proven incapable of preventing World War II. So it was small. The nations didn't take with it, and in the world, I said, "Wait a minute, the League of Nations, you couldn't start World War II." So it was after World War II that they came back, repackaged, gave it another name, another logo. They said, "Let's not call it the League of Nations. Let's call it the United Nations." Okay, on April 18, 1946 in Geneva, Switzerland, came out of Europe, Beast, Viscount Robert Cecil. That's one of the original architects, which is an Edomite, behind the League of Nations, delivered this final eulogy. You know what eulogy is? To the organization and look toward the future. The League is dead. Long live the United Nations. The same thing. The United Nations, formerly Like Prince. Prince changed his name to a symbol, and we know the story behind that, right? So he can get out of that contract. The League is dead. Long live the United Nations. Then the nations accepted it because they paid people off. So now they're criticizing the United Nations. Let's go back to this. What is this? Tufts Now. How the United Nations tries to promote peace in a world full of wars. So if they try to push the MOTB during the time of the Obama administration, 8 years of the Obama administration, it didn't work. It didn't accept. Let's look at this thing, the C Ragamuffin. They try to push it. They would, we're gonna deal with the media, the American media, and they're gonna CNN and Fox, and they're gonna all take them. We're gonna have celebrities take it. Everybody's gonna take it. There's a lot of certain percentage of people that said, "Fuck that, I ain't with that shit." So they got to repackage it now. This guy, let me see if I can find the picture. Give me a second here. Bear me for a minute. Let me do it this way. I think I took it down, but I took a picture of it. Let me try it this way. Bear me for a minute. I forget how I labeled it. Let's do it this way. Let me do it. Let me do this. Let me do this. Let's see what happens. Bear me for a minute, y'all. Just bear with me. Bear with me, y'all. Bear with me, I'm almost there. This image is very important. I can't seem to find it. Anyway, let me see if I can find it this way. I can't find it. You know what I can do? Let me do this. Dr. Peter Hotez. Okay, this is what I'm looking for. Dr. Peter Hotez predicts diseases in 2025. I'll leave it at predicts, not predictions. Let's try it now. They probably took it out the news. Try it this way. January 1st, 2025. Okay, I think I found it. Dr. Peter Hotez, that's him. Big public health threats going to come crashing down on January 21st on the Trump administration. Why is January 21st important? Because January 20th is the day that Trump is inaugurated. So he's saying if the first day in office, officially in office, which is the 21st, he's saying that there's going to be a breakout of a whole bunch of diseases. Public health threats going to crash down on January. How does he know that it's going to come on that date? Let me see. Doctor didn't threaten to unleash. Okay, doctor didn't threaten to unleash viruses during Trump term. Virologists, which viruses, study of viruses, warns Trump of infectious disease threat. But he says in January 21st, first official day as president, as Trump coming in as president, right? Okay, it says here, a perfect storm for infectious diseases, okay, that's in 2023. Bear me for a minute. Anti-vaccine, when is this dated? That's 2021. But this is what I wanted. And he actually says it right here on MSNBC. Dr. Peter Hotez discusses the threat of more pandemics that is going to come
that
crashing
is
down.
Completely erroneous. There is no.
that is going to, it says pandemics, more than one, that is going to come crashing down on, it so happens to fall down on us on January 21st on the Trump administration during an interview Tuesday. This had to be a week ago. I first caught it a week ago. So you're not just going to get one thing, you're going to get many things. So let's come on back over here. So, hey, the during the time of the Obama administration, spoke about that in the affordable health care, which was of over 1,000 pages, 12 or whatever. We did that in 2009. We said, could that be it? Will this thing happen during his administration? You know? We said that during Bush's, Biden's time and Trump. It has to be. Now, the most I could say, okay, this place is going to go down in 2030. That means you have to have a new president, right? So this could be the year. Trump went from 2015, 2016, I'm not with the Bitcoin stuff, to I'm with it now. What changed? Got to watch a person that changes up.
Being mandatory. You guys are saying that it was going to be mandatory.
It's going to be mandatory. Some people are going to be put to death for not taking it. Most people are going to take it because they don't know the scriptures. Like you don't know the scriptures.
It never said that. That thing didn't even get put in the Obamacare actual plan.
Doesn't have to be put in the Obamacare plan. It's part of the plan. It's ultimately part of the plan. The agenda. Look up the word agenda. I'm not going to go to that word, but look up the word agenda. The Illuminati's, the Rothschilds' agenda is a bunch of different things that they'll reach their pinnacle 100 years from now or 150 years from now. They'll have agenda is a plan of action, of various actions until you reach the goal. So what are you talking about?
And that is still going on till this day. They never repealed Obamacare. But that was never included. You can look that up. You guys are conspiracy theorists. You guys follow anything that confirms what you already believe. You have a confirmation bias. You don't care that that shit wasn't even passed.
Okay, so now let me come back. He said we're conspiracy theorists. Let's look that up. Yeah, a conspiracy is that the small hats are the people, therefore we're not the people, so that makes us anti-Semps. It's a conspiracy. These guys are conspiracy theorists. Let's look it up. Where am I? Okay. Conspiracy. Matter of fact, let me come over here. So watch the news come January 2025, January 21st, 2025. Let me see. Hey, they may try to delete Trump on that day. They may try to do that. They may succeed, they may not. We don't know. It's a crazy world we're living in. Okay, let me do this. Bring this back. He said we're conspiracy theorists, right? The fact that we're saying that we are the people is a conspiracy theory. These people know that they're not the people, but they're gonna say that we're anti-Semp for saying that for us to say they're not the people is for us to say we're the people. So they're saying that's anti-Semp because we know that we are the people, and they're not. Okay, conspiracy theorists. Conspiracy theorists. Okay, let me do this. A conspiracy theorist is someone who believes in a conspiracy theory, which is the idea that a secret plan by powerful people, Illuminati, causes an event or situation. Conspiracy theories often involve the following characteristics: a secret plot. There's a secret government, man. A cabal. It says a group of conspirators or actors. And so what they use is, if you got you're a conspiracy theorist, they call you a conspiracy theorist nut. Like I said, the fact that they're saying that they're the people of the Most High and they know that they're not, or should know that they're not, is because they attack us. They attack us because we're saying that, there's people out there, mainly in Germany, that say the thing during World War II, with Hitler, never really happened. That's a conspiracy theory, The sinking of the Lusitania. Go into that. In World War II, that kicked off World War II. Give me a second. Was the sinking of the Lusitania a conspiracy? According to historical consensus, the sinking of the Lusitania was not a conspiracy. While there are many conspiracy theories surrounding the event, and this is the thing that got Europe into World War II. Contrary to conspiracy theorists, however, Churchill did nothing to cause the sinking. He was not even at the Admiralty in the days leading up. Conspiracies the main guy don't have to be there. Nero was 30 miles from Rome when Rome caught on fire. No, that wasn't me. I was 30 miles away. Scientists, historians say no, he was a part of it, Okay, CBS, this is 2015. Ignored warning, conspiracy theories define Lusitania, which was the ship sinking, has been a magnet of conspiracy theories, the most famous alleging that Winston Churchill, then the first Lord of the blah, 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 blah. Okay? If a man and a woman get together, they get married, right? The guy dies somehow, Who's one of the first suspects? The wife. Or in the other case, the husband. That's the first motherfucker that you're gonna. Well, first of all, was she married? Yes. How was the relationship? Oh, they were having a custody battle. The husband put out a what do you call it? Insurance policy on her, and forged. You found out that somebody forged her name. You put one and one together, then you realize it was a man that set up his wife to kill her, and then you find out that he was dealing with this other chick at the job. So the plan was, I want to kill this B, but I want to make some money off of it, and we can get together happily ever after. Then they realized, it was the husband and the girlfriend that was a part of that. So we're gonna arrest both of them. That's called a conspiracy. Okay? Conspiracy, con, with, spire, breathe. Breathe together. Conspiracies happen all over the place. So let's listen.
Talks about the RFID chip and it never spoke about it being mandatory. You guys are saying that it was going to be mandatory.
It will be mandatory. It will be mandatory. Revelation 13 and 16.
It never said that. That thing didn't even get put in the Obamacare actual plan. That is
But it will succeed. Trust me, it will succeed.
still going on.
People had I remember, I'm old enough where I remember when we had driver's license and you didn't have your picture on the license. And when they said, we're going to get pictures of you, and everybody's like, nah, I ain't with that shit, I ain't with that bullshit. Because you can change numbers on that little paper license. And the cop sees it, oh, you good. I remember when you couldn't, when you young, driving a car, you would lapse on your insurance, and you be driving very careful because you ain't got the money for insurance. But if a cop stopped, you wouldn't come up. They passed a law saying that when a cop checks your license, registration, insurance, the insurance company is in a database. So it's going to come out that you have no insurance. But years ago, you could get away with that. All right?
Until this day, they never repealed Obamacare. But that was never included. You can look that up. You guys are conspiracy theorists. You guys.
Thank you, conspiracy theorists. Okay, let me do this. I'm sorry, this is going to be a little long. Let me go. Let me do this. Famous conspiracy theorists. 4 who are the conspiracy theorists. List of conspiracy theories. Who is Alex Jones? 21 of the best conspiracy theories. List of conspiracy theories. Okay. You ask for money, I ain't got no money for you. Okay, the eye of the providence of, or the all-seeing eye of God, seen here on the U.S. $1 bill, which, by the way, is a Federal Reserve. What is that? 1910, Jekyll Island, Georgia. A bunch of top guys went down there to set up the Federal Reserve Act, which became a Federal Reserve Board, which you have Federal Reserve notes, has been taken by some to be evidence of a conspiracy involving the founding fathers of the United States and the what? And the Illuminati. This is coming from Google. Well, Wikipedia. Is this Wikipedia? Yeah, Wikipedia. Let me see. Black helicopters, chemtrails, Korean Airlines Flight 007, Malaysia Airline Flight MH, that's another one. Let me see. New Coke. All right, the death of Nero. JFK's assassination. What did they do? They sealed it until, I think, 20 years, 50 years. Then they I forget all the details of it. It said this. So this came out to be a conspiracy theory. Let me see. So you mentioned CIA, Mafia, Vice President Lyndon B. Baines Johnson, Cuban Prime Minister Fidel Castro, the KGB. Let me see. New World Order, which is a conspiracy theory. George Soros was supposedly behind Black Lives Matter. He funded them. That's a conspiracy theory. Freemasonry, you don't tell nobody. If you're a Mason, you don't tell nobody. You don't give your secrets. Okay, Antichrist. Bible and Jesus, Islamists, Illuminati in Europe, which, let me read this. Conspiracy theories concerning Illuminati, a short-lived 18th century Enlightenment era, a secret society appeared to have originated in the 19th century when some Catholic conservatives in Europe came to believe that the group had been responsible for the French Revolution. That's a conspiracy theory. Hoaxes about the Illuminati were later spread in the 1960s by a group of American practical jokers known as the Discordians, who wrote a series of fake letters about the Illuminati to Playboy. I didn't know about that. False flag operation. A false flag operation is an act committed with the intent of disguising the actual source of responsibility and pinning blame on another party. Like if you have a plane that bombs a ship, and it might be a German, might have a World War II swastika on it, right? It could be another country, maybe the United States, that painted a plane. Let's paint it green. Let's put a swastika on it. So when you see it, they said it was the Germans that did it. Come to find out, it was a false flag. Okay. You have another word called let's look that up. The patsy. Patsy. This is the fall guy. The meaning of the word patsy.
Here's the definition of patsy: informal. A person who is easily taken advantage of, especially by being cheated or blamed for something.
Right. You use that guy. What is the guy that so-called killed Kennedy? I forget his name. Somebody help me out. He was known as a patsy. And they're saying, nah, he didn't do it, you know? A person who is easily swindled, deceived, sound like IUIC members, coerced, persuaded, etc. Sucker, a person upon whom the blame for something falls. Scapegoat, fall guy, patsy. Let me do this. A list of famous patsies in history. Okay, there are famous people with the name Patsy, including, come on, man. What is a patsy in Irish slang? What the name Patsy short for? What does patsy mean? They ain't give me what I want. But a patsy is a fall guy. Come on back to this. A person who is easily swindled, deceived, noun, slang, plural, patsies. A person who is easily swindled, deceived, coerced, persuaded, etc. Sucker. A person upon whom the blame for something falls. Scapegoat, fall guy. So when you talk about if you're having a discussion on conspiracies and conspiracy theories, you have to, in that argument is going to, the term patsy will come up. Let's come back over here. He said something else. What did he say?
Guys, follow anything that confirms what you already believe. You have a confirmation bias.
Let's look that up. Confirmation bias, meaning.
Here's the definition of confirmation bias: the tendency to interpret new evidence as confirmation of one's existing beliefs or theories.
Good, I like that. If we bring out stuff, extra biblical stuff, let's say, for example, to prove that Gad was one of the tribes that they were Israelites, we'll use a book called, and I got it right next to me, James Adair, History of the American Indian. And it said he traded among them for, I don't know, a year, a couple of years, and he realized they spoke Hebrew, their civil customs, their marriages, their funerals, the language I mentioned, who they called on Yahweh. He came to the conclusion that they're Israelites. So we use that book to say, see, even this guy says it. Whether he made it up or not, let's go on. Let's move on. And see, American people, thanks to your public school system, you believe any fucking thing. Easily led. A bunch of stupid people, man. Most of you, the majority of you Americans are stupid people.
You don't care that that shit wasn't even passed. That's not part of Obamacare.
Wait a minute. Biden, which was the vice president of Obama, which became the president, right? He made a statement, and he was speaking to, he was a Senate at that time. He wasn't Congress, he was Senate, and it was a confirmation for Justice Roberts to become the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. And he said in not so many words, this is what you're going to experience or decide on before your tender is over. Can a microchip be planted in a person's brain? You will rule on that. Mark my words, before your tender is over. So, 2005, Biden mentioned it. Mentioned the microchip. Matter of fact, let's do this. Let's do this. Microchips, Biden, and Chief Justice Roberts. Video from 2005 does not show Biden promoting, oh, come on now. That's damage control right there. It ain't talking about what he said. You didn't hear right. You got to clean your ears. Video from 2005 does not show Biden promoting microchips. Well, what did he say? Let me see something. Matter of fact, let me do it this way. I want to see if I can get the correct. So the aided press said, oh, he wasn't talking about microchips. Wait a minute, let me do this. President-elect Joe Biden is part of the New Order conspiracy and confirmed an agenda to microchip the masses. And then it says false. Well, why did he make that statement? Matter of fact, let me do this. Confirmed by the agenda microchip. Okay, video doesn't confirm. This is damage control right here. Vice President Biden comments on an electronic ID tag. This is what I'm going to do. I can pull up the video, but matter of fact, I may just have to do that. Let me do it this way. Let me come on back. That's clearly damage control. Because conspiracy theorists said, nope, see, he just said it. Let me do this. Let me do this. What I should have did was, let me do it this way. Let me do it this way. Okay.
Okay. Which is our main enemy pursuant to the book of Psalms, chapter 83. Right, the Edomites, they call themselves today.
Okay, here it is right here. Here it is right here. 22 minutes long. I'm going to go to it, then I'm going to hit the...
Can a
microchip
microscopic
tag be implanted in a person's body, whether hand or forehead, to track his every movement? There's actual discussion about that. You will rule on that, mark my word, before your tenure is over. Can brain scans, now you need a chip to scan your brain, be used to determine whether a person is inclined toward criminality or violent behavior? You will rule on that before your tenure is over. Mark my words, you will rule on that before your tenure is over. Now, we just went to, let's come back over here. AP, well-respected news organization. That's where all these breaking news, they get it from the AP and there's a UPI, United Press International, and the AP. Video from 2005 does not show Biden promoting, let me do this, President-elect Joe Biden is part of the New World Order conspiracy and confirmed an agenda to microchipping mass. They're saying, no, that didn't mean that. He didn't say that. You just heard it, man. You just read it. Can a person that, matter of fact, come back, let's do it again. Let's do it again. It says microchipping. Senator Biden tells Chief Justice Roberts he will rule on microchipping and brain scans. So let's watch it again. If you know how to read, can a microchip tag be implanted in a person's body to track every movement? There's actual discussion about that. There's discussion about that. This is 2005. So they've been discussing it at least since 2005. There's actual discussion about that. You will rule on that, mark my words, before your tenure is over. Can brain scans, now you need a chip in your brain, be used to determine whether a person is inclined toward criminality or violent behavior? You will rule on that before your tenure is over. Okay, let's come on back to this guy. So we're just making shit up. You guys are conspiracy theorists. You're conspiracy, you doomsday cult. Everything that I've been going through, haven't I been bringing out the receipts? Have not I been filtering it through the scriptures? What Biden was talking about is the fulfillment of Revelation 13 and 16.
Not gonna force anybody to get an RFID.
Not yet. They're getting ready to, and you're gonna take it too. If you're not in the book of life, you're gonna get it too.
Shit. What world are you living in, bro? You are.
I'm living in the real world. I'm living in the world of the real, as Morpheus said to Neo.
They like to call everybody a bug out. They say, yo, San Miguel's a bug out.
Oh, you are a bug out. You're a complete bug out. You're smoking a bone, talking shit, and you're talking about we're not the Israelites, but you've been in the Israelite, the main school for years. And when you got kicked out, Marsh, this is your words. I'm just quoting you. Arya and Shah, the two priests, high priests, whatever, they said that they wanted you to come back, but they had to get an approval from the God-sent comforter. And you were sitting there with sitting on your fucking hands, hoping that you would get back. And then the decision came down from the comforter, the so-called comforter, you can't come. So that just crushed your whole world. So now you're mad at everybody. You're just a lost soul, man. You're a struggle Israelite.
You know, anybody that doesn't believe in what they believe, they're a bug out. Bro, your members are, I can name a bunch of members that were part of your crew. Some of them might still be, that are bugged the hell out, including yourself. And Gabar and all these cats. Yo, I've done videos on these cats. I know Elder Gabar, so-called Elder Gabar, has done a video on me before. I never even cared to address him. I don't, whatever. He didn't bring...
But you cared to address my video.
And he didn't even put any scriptures in that video. He didn't really go into anything I mentioned. All he was saying that, oh, I gotta, you know, I'm disrespecting an elder because he's dick riding Tahar. That's what y'all do. All he ever wants to say is that I'm mad, I'm butthurt about Tazadakia. Yo, what does GMS have to do with any of that? Why would, like, oh, and then I just take my anger out on everybody. So, yeah, man, this video is to GMS and Tahar and everybody that follows Tahar and that's been following him. You guys are in an identity cult, but more importantly, you guys are in a doomsday cult. There's been many videos I've seen of Tahar preaching with a damn banner behind him that says the end of the world, very large at the top, and then it says the end of the world like 100 times after that in smaller letters. The end of the world, the end of the world, the end of the world. Yo, you guys are bugged the fuck out.
Okay, good. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let me see. Where am I going to go with this? Let's go to the scriptures. The end of the world. The end of the world. Okay. Let's read some of these scriptures. Their words to the end of the world. That's talking about the other side of the earth. That's what that means. The truth started in the Levant, in the Middle East, and now the truth is here on the other side of the world, which is America. Isaiah 62:11. Behold, the Lord hath proclaimed unto the end of the world, say ye to the daughter of Zion, behold, thy salvation cometh. Behold, his reward is with him, and his work before him. This is a good scripture that should be read a lot more. Matthew 13:39. The enemy that soweth them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world. And the reapers are the angels. 49th verse, same chapter, Matthew 13:49. So shall it be at the end of the world. The angels shall come forth and sever the wicked from the just. The wicked are Edomites, wicked Israelites like yourself, San Miguel, Moabites, all the nations that are here that in America. Ain't no Moabite going to get lifted up into no ship. The only ones that's going to be lifted up in the ship are Israelites, and not just Israelites, elect of the Israelites, the ones that are written in the Lamb's book of life. Wicked from among the just. The just are Israelites. The wicked are the Edomites and the rest of the people, which include wicked Israelites. Matthew 24:3. I guess Yahweh Shai is a bug out too. The Messiah is a bug out. And the disciples are bug outs. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came up unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of the coming, of thy coming, and the end of the world? He says, when you see all these things happening, earthquakes, wars, diverse, nation against nation, which is happening now. Matthew 28:20, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you, and lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. We're coming to the end of the world. The Lord is getting ready to come back. Hebrews 9:26. For then must he often have suffered the foundation of the world, but now once in the end of the world. The end of the world started 2,000 years ago. When the Yahushai came on the scene, that's when the clock started ticking. Hath he appeared to put away sin by the sacrifice of himself. Whose sin was he going to put away? The Israelites, all Israelites. Romans 11:25 and 26. Matthew 13:40. As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, that represents this nuclear fire, so shall it be in the end of this world. So yeah, our Lord was a doomsday cultist too. And this kingdom of the gospel shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. What end? The end of this man's system. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. New heavens and new earth. Revelation 21. Okay. Let me do this. Last days. Gather yourself together that I may tell you what shall befall you in the last days. Isaiah 2:2. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house, that's talking about us now, the ones of us that's on the highways and the byways, and that includes the other Israelite one Westers. They're out there. That includes ISUPK, IUI, all the rest of them out there that are sincerely teaching. Now, IUIC, you better get your act together. The Most High gonna stomp you guys out. You better get your act together, man. You've been warned many times from the apostles. You got to get them zombies in order, Nate. That's a T-shirt right there. You have a picture of a zombie, and then have on top of it, I think I'm gonna make a T-shirt. You better get them zombies in order, Nate. Micah 4 verse 1. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of Yahweh shall be established in the tops of the mountains. What's a high mountain? America. The UN is in America, in New York. Across the street from the UN is a placard, a big, gigantic placard, and it quotes Micah 4. And it shall come and shall be exalted above the hills, the other nations, and people shall flow unto it. That's not happening with these people over there. You got all kind of shit going on over there, man. Acts 2 verse 17, and it shall come to pass in the last days, saith the Lord, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. Dreams and visions is the same thing. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. Hebrews 1:20, hath in these last days spoken unto his son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things. Who have appointed heir of all things? The Father appointed, the heir is Yahushai, by whom also he made the worlds. Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days. That's talking about the super rich. Because they're going into captivity. They're going to be the first ones to taste captivity. They're not going to be destroyed by the fire. They're going to be in a neutral country. 2 Peter 3:3, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lusts. That fits this guy. This guy right here. That fits him. He's a scoffer. He was a believer and he became a scoffer. Why is he a scoffer? Because he scoffs. Let me look up the word scoffer. I may drop, spit, and I might come back. Scoffers. Scoffers.
Strong's G 1703, Impictace. Impictace.
A mocker, a scoffer. It says scoffer right here, Jude 1:18. But let's open up 2 Peter 3:3. The coming day of Yahweh, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lusts and saying, where is the promise of his coming? That's what you said. Well, you said this was going to happen, it never happened. You said that was going to happen, it's never going to happen. You said the year 2000, Lord, he never came. So what are you guys talking about? Stop being bug outs. Well, that's you. This will be a picture of your face right next to this word right here. And saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation. For this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of the Most High the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the waters and in the waters, whereby the world that then was being overthrown. That goes into water, then fire. Then it says the heavens. It says the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. What manner of person ought ye to be in all holy convocation? So this is what he's supposed to be speaking about, the doomsday. Doomsday, the end of the world. Let's listen to some more.
You think the world is going to come to an end, and you've been thinking that.
This is proof that what Peter said was true. There shall come in the last days scoffers, which would say, when will the end come? That's what you're saying. You're a scoffer. Matter of fact, I'm sorry, let's do this. I want to go to the root word for scoffer. Back to the basics. Okay, so to play with, trifle with, to mock, to delude, to deceive. And that's what you're doing. To jeer at, deride, mock. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked, right? And shall, Matthew 20:19, and shall deliver him to the Gentiles to mock him. Those Gentiles that mocked him and scourged him and to crucify him, it started with Herod's personal army, which is known as Herod's men of war. They were the ones that beat him. Then they sent him to Pilate, and then was a Roman military that led him to the cross. He was not beat down and spat upon by the Romans necessarily. He got beat down by them Edomites. It was Edomites that beat him down. Right, after that, they had mocked him. They took the robe off from him and put his own remnant on and led him away to crucify him. This is what the Romans did. You know what? Let me open this up. And they're going to pay for that shit. Them Edomites that did that, oh, they're going to pay. Jesus is mocked. Then the soldiers and the governors of Jesus and come in the hall, gathered and stripped him. What does it say? Send him back to Pilate. Let me try to do it this way. Men of war. I want the New Testament. And Herod with his men of war set him at naught and mocked him and arrayed him in a gorgeous robe, a purple robe, and sent him again to Pilate. Let's open this up. And the chief priests and scribes stood vehemently accused him. These were niggas that sold out. Okay, Jesus before Yahushua before Herod. And when Herod saw Yahushua, he exceedingly glad, for he was desirous to see him of a long season, because he had heard many things of him, and he was famous, and he hoped to have seen some miracle done by him. Then he questioned with him in many words, but he answered him nothing, because he wasn't dealing with no Edomites. He said, maybe this guy, I heard that he rose up the dead, he did all these miracles. Maybe he can do something for me. Could do a miracle, heal my bum toe. And the Lord, who the fuck is this guy? And the chief priests and the scribes stood and vehemently accused him. And Herod with his men of war set him at naught and mocked him and arrayed him in a gorgeous robe and sent him again to Pilate. And the same day Pilate and Herod were made friends together, for before they were at enmity between themselves. They had a squabble. So who beat them down? It was the Edomites. It was Herod's personal army. And the Romans, he was already beat down. Let me do this. Give me a second. Crown. Okay, O W N of thorns. Let's see if this come up. Thor. I'm a lousy speller. Okay, I spelled that right, I believe. And when they had plaited a crown of thorns, they put it upon his head, and a reed in his right hand, and they bowed the knee before him and mocked him, saying, Hail, King of the Jews. Let's open it up. Matthew 27, verse 29. These were, like I said, it was Herod's men of war, which are Edomites, that did that. It says, and let me read on. It says 30th verse. And they spat upon him and took the reed and smote him on the head. And after that they had mocked him, they took the robe off from him and put his own remnant on him and led him away to crucify him. So they beat him down, and but before the Romans dealt with him, it was the Edomites that dealt with him. So like I said, Herod was happy to see the Lord, the Messiah. And he said, maybe he can do a miracle for me. So he said, can you do a miracle for me right now? I'm happy to see you. Lord looked at him like, the F your problem? You know, he probably had a smirk like, what the fuck are you? You're a nobody. You're a damn Edomite, man. I ain't dealing with no Edomites. So he said, okay, beat the shit out of him. Send his ass to Pilate, because the Jews want him dead anyway. So take this nigga out of here. This nigga got some nerve. Remember, Herod was an Edomite. So are you saying that, give me a second. Are you saying that Edomites never exist? We made that up? Let's listen to a little bit more. I'm going long.
Since before the year 2000, you've been preaching that. For however long you've been in this thing, you've probably been preaching that the end of the world is coming. You guys...
You're saying you're bringing this old shit up because you're a scoffer.
Fucking Chicken Little saying the sky is falling.
The sky is going to fall. And smokes, take a what they call it back in the day. Take a toke of that bone. However they said it. I never did it. I never did that. I didn't like the smell of it. I didn't like I don't like smoke.
So a doomsday cult is a religious group. It doesn't even have to be religious. It could be, it doesn't have to.
It could be scientists. It could be scientists.
With religion, but usually it's a religion that talks about the apocalypse and the coming of Jesus Christ, how that's going to bring in this great destruction, and somehow you're going to be saved, but everybody else is going to be destroyed. And that whole RFID chip that they were talking about in Obamacare was not talking about putting a chip in your head, because the scripture talks about their forehead.
That was in 2009, if I'm not mistaken. But let's go back to Biden, Senator Biden, addressing Chief Justice Roberts at his confirmation. He said, before your tenure is over, you will rule whether a person can get a microchip. And he said microchip. That's why you got the AP and these other news. He didn't say that. He really didn't mean. That's what the fuck he said.
About the mark of the beast being in their forehead. They say the RFID chip is the mark of the beast in Revelation chapter.
That's correct. You got that right.
7, I believe. I forget what chapter it's in. But it's talking about buying and selling, and they're somehow talking about the RFID chip being something dealing with healthcare. Which is a public health care that has nothing to do with...
Everything going to be in your chip. Aaron Russo said that. Buying, selling, going to the hospital, going to the doctor, going to the dentist, bank transactions, the registering a car. You need a chip to do that.
Buying. And then...
As a matter of fact, the last time I went to the DMV was a couple of years ago, because I do everything by mail pretty much. So I don't got to go to the DMV. Last time I went to the DMV, where I first saw there was a device. This had to be 5-6 years ago, maybe 7 years ago. There was a device, and it had a thing where you place your hand at. So as an Edomite standing there, he's working at the DMV. I said, what's that all about? And he said, that's for the mark of the beast. He said, they're not going to tell you that, but I know. He said, that's the fulfillment of Revelation 13. This was a guy that looked like an Edomite. I did a video where I went to a particular Whole Foods. It was 1 week I went, these scanners weren't there. 2 to 3 weeks later, I went back there. Then they had installed these hand scanners, and I did a video on it. I made it a short. So I said, one step closer to the what? The mark of the beast. These things are coming in incrementally. Look that word up.
And it says the rich and the poor shall receive the mark. And at the same time,
If you want to be on the grid, you got to take the chip.
Gabar and this cat are talking about Obamacare is a public healthcare service that the rich aren't even going to partake in. That's what Gabar said. The rich are not.
Ultimately, it's going to be one system. The rich and the poor is going to be under that same system, in that grid.
Even they were trying to scare. They're trying to scare blacks and Hispanics and poor people and the oppressed and all of that, putting fear mongering that they're gonna force the RFID chip through Obamacare. That's what they were saying. I couldn't find the video because Tahar challenged me to find the video where he's talking about Obama being somebody that they want to use so they can kind of sway blacks, and minorities.
Well, they pulled him up to try to get him to vote for Kamala. He just came out of nowhere, making speak. Kamala's a bit. So they got him in the back, and they got him behind the wall, and they got him in the box from goddamn where. So when they need him, they bring the nigga out because Jake got up. Oh, the first black, and this guy was a fucking empty suit, an empty fucking suit. And how many Jakes talking about that great man? They'll talk about MLK, Malcolm X, whatever. But they don't. How many Jakes talk about this great? This guy, Obama, he's a great president. No, they ain't talking about. They found out they got shafted, man. He didn't do a goddamn. He did little or nothing for Jake. But Jake are suckers.
Minorities to go along with this because Obama's black. He said that somewhere in the street. I remember a video of him saying that. I might be able to still.
Wait a minute. When the C. Ragamuffin came out, wasn't there a video of Obama getting the jump shot? Didn't you have black actors and entertainers getting the jump shot? Was Mariah Carey, she got it? The actor from England, I forget the guy's name, he got it. But he got the thing. The fuck out of here, man. And all these entertainers, these athletes, these actors, these entertainers, these celebrities among Jake, they're gonna get on the bandwagon, and they're all gonna take it. Denzel got dipped, but he's getting ready to get chipped. How about that? Okay. All of a sudden, the perfect timing. What's her name? Ali Carter said, "No, Denzel didn't leave. He stayed around. He walked around butt naked with a black cap on, a gold Jesus piece." With shoes on, butt naked everywhere else. So he didn't leave early. Then he told this guy, what's this guy's name? I can't. He played in a movie this guy Martin Lawrence, he was Big Mama's House. He was the new guy. What's his name? T. G. Johnson, whatever. He said that Denzel told him, "No, you better leave early. You don't want to be here when this shit happened." So what shit happened? And Denzel did say, "I was there." That's what in a court of law, all they got to do is have you admit that you was there. Oh, he had to do it. He had to commit. That's what they do. That's why when you deal with a cop, you say, I don't know nothing. I don't, no, you don't say I don't know nothing. Don't say it to the feds, because the feds explain to you what you are. So when you say I don't know what's going on, they got you. Any law enforcement, they ask you questions, you say I'm exercising my right to remain silent. With all disrespect, Officer Jones, badge number 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm exercising my right to remain silent. I have nothing to say. What did you do that? I have nothing to say. And I have a right to say that.
You'll find it. I did a little bit of research, and it took like 2 hours for me to find a whole bunch of footage and content that I'm going to do an actual edited video on to show you that the RFID chip that was supposed to be part of Obamacare didn't pass way back in 2009. These cats are still talking about that shit.
Right. The League of Nations was a small organization that tried to be a major world organization and get the whole world involved. Didn't happen. They had to repackage it and call it the UN. The UN is nothing but the League of Nations under a different name. And this time they got all the nations. 2 nations, the Palestinians are not members, and they're trying to get them to be members, but they don't want them because of the small hat thing, and the Vatican City. Those are the only 2. Vatican City is known as a nation. In international law, Vatican City is known as a nation. Oh, it's just it's a something. It's a building 2 miles square, but it's the smallest nation on the planet. The Vatican City and the Palestinians. So all these leaders of these various nations, what is it? 90, I believe there's 98. I believe 96, 196 of them are UN members. 2 of them are not. All those people that are members, signatories to the UN, they're all going to get the same memo, and they got to push it on their people, and the entertainment world is going to use them to do it. And a lot of you dummies are going to follow oh, Beyonce did it, I'm going to do it too. Oh, LeBron James did it, I'm going to do it too. You bunch of dummies.
As if that's going to be part of Obamacare. Like, what are you talking about? Now they need to change it and talk about Elon Musk and his, chip on the head.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm going to get ready to close. I went long. Neuralink and Elon Musk. There it is. There it is. There's the chip. The Neuralink patient behind the Hastings Center. Elon Reeves Musk I didn't know his real name. Is a businessman known for his key roles in the space company SpaceX and the automotive company Tesla Inc. He is also known for his ownership of X Corp, which was Twitter, formerly Twitter, and his role in the founding of the Boring Company, XAI, Neuralink, and OpenAI. And what's Neuralink all about? Let me look at this. Let me go to images. Let me make it easy. Let me go to images. Chip. What is that? Human brain implant. Let's open it up. Elon Musk Neuralink has put in its first human brain implant. And he purchased this company. And they call it a chip. Neuralink chip. Fulfillment of Revelation 13 and 16. And Bishop Nate, you're going to come out looking like a real jackass when this thing comes to pass. Implant. Human test of brain implant. Also known as a chip. Let me do this. Wallet more. That's not what I wanted. Let me do it this way. Wallet more micro. Let me try it this way. I want to get the company's name. How do you spell it? Okay, here it is right here. There's another chip. A different company. Tech company selling microchip implants that let you pay with your hand. I want to see get the company name. Okay, wallet more. Let me do this. Wallet more. Wallet more microchip injection. There it is. This is what John saw. That's a scanner. Let me do this. Let me go to videos. How to get wallet more payment implant. So you can't see it because the Most High gave you strong delusion that you will believe a lie. Because you're a scoffer. Listen to a little bit more.
They were talking about Obamacare back then. They always have to change it according to their failed prophecies. That didn't happen, and it's not going to happen.
It's going to happen, and you're going to have to deal with it when it happens. When it's going to, you know, when it's going to hit in when you're online. You sign a paper to go get chipped, and you're gonna be thinking about it. You're gonna be thinking about us quite a bit. Anyway, with that, I only got 15 minutes in. Let's see. Let's maybe come back. You can watch the rest of this. I watched maybe, I don't know, up until about here. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom. On to the next shalom. GMS was always, oh shit, GMS was always right.